Hello, history lovers, and welcome back to our channel. You think of the greatest empires in history, names like Rome, Britain, or perhaps the Han Dynasty might come to mind. But what if I told you there was an empire that, at its peak, was more than twice the size of the Roman Empire, connecting the East and the West like never before? This was the Mongol Empire, and the man who forged it from a collection of warring tribes was one of history's most formidable and complex figures, Genghis Khan. Today we rejourneying back to the windswept steppes of 12th century Mongolia to uncover the story of the man behind the legend. We'll explore how a boy named Temüjin, born into a life of hardship, rose to become the great Khan and created the largest contiguous land empire the world has ever seen. This isn't just a story of conquest, it's a story of survival, strategy, and the creation of a nation. Let's rewind to the year 1162. On the vast, unforgiving plains of Mongolia, a boy was born into a chieftain's family. His name was Temüjin. Legend has it, he was born clutching a blood clot in his fist, a sign interpreted by many as a prophecy that he was destined for greatness and to be a mighty warrior. But his early life was far from a prophecy fulfilled. It was a brutal struggle for survival. When Temüjin was just a child, his father Yasuge was poisoned by a rival tribe, the Tatars. This single act of betrayal shattered his world. Stripped of their status and protection, Temüjin, his mother, and his siblings were abandoned by their own clan and left to fend for themselves in the wilderness. They were outcasts, living a life of extreme poverty, hunting small animals and foraging for roots just to stay alive. These years were incredibly harsh. Temüjin experienced hunger, betrayal, and even enslavement. At one point, he was captured by a rival clan and forced to wear a wooden collar, a deep humiliation for any Mongol. But these hardships didn't break him. They forged him. Every betrayal taught him to be wary, every hardship hardened his resolve, and every moment of desperation fueled a burning ambition within him to end the cycle of chaos and unite the scattered feuding Mongol tribes under a single banner. This arduous youth was the crucible that created the will of Genghis Khan, driven by his vision of a unified Mongol nation. Temüjin embarked on a long and perilous journey to power. It wasn't a quick rise. It took over 2 decades of relentless effort. He began by forging a critical alliance with a powerful chieftain named Togrul, who had been a friend of his father. This alliance gave him the military backing he needed to start reclaiming his family's influence. Temüjin proved to be a brilliant and charismatic leader. He was a master of steppe diplomacy, knowing when to negotiate, when to form strategic marriage alliances, and crucially, when to fight. His approach to warfare was revolutionary. Unlike other tribal leaders who often distributed loot based on social status, Temüjin rewarded his soldiers based on merit and loyalty, regardless of their background. This attracted a following of fiercely loyal warriors from all tribes, who saw him as a fair and capable commander. Over the years, he fought numerous battles, sometimes winning, sometimes suffering devastating losses. He subdued rival tribes like the Tatars, who had poisoned his father, and the Merkits, who had once abducted his wife Bert. Through a masterful combination of military force, shrewd diplomacy, and the sheer power of his personality, he systematically brought the warring factions of the Mongol steppe to heel, one by one. His goal was no longer just survival, it was unification. By the year Liu, Temüjin's ambition had become a reality. On the banks of the Onon River, a great assembly, or Kurultai of all the Mongol chieftains was called. There, in a ceremony of immense significance, they proclaimed him the undisputed ruler of all the peoples of the steppe. He was given a new title, a name that would echo through eternity, Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. The era of endless tribal warfare was over. For the first time in history, the Mongol tribes were united into a single, powerful nation. But unification was just the beginning. With the full might of the Mongol horsemen at his command, Genghis Khan turned his gaze outward. His campaigns of conquest were of a scale and speed the world had never witnessed. One of his first major targets was the powerful Jin dynasty in northern China. The Mongols, masters of cavalry warfare, initially struggled against the massive fortified cities of the Jin. But Genghis Khan was a master of adaptation. He learned siege warfare from captured Chinese engineers. building a formidable arsenal of trebuchets, catapults, and other siege engines. Next, he turned west, towards the wealthy Khwarezmian Empire, stretched across modern-day Persia and Central Asia. After a trade caravan was attacked and his envoys were executed by the Shah, Genghis Khan unleashed a campaign of total war. City after city fell, and the Mongol armies pushed further and further west, their reputation for speed and ferocity preceding them. Their advance reached the edges of Europe, striking fear into the hearts of kingdoms from Russia to Hungary. In 1227, during his final campaign to subdue the rebellious Western Xia kingdom, the great Khan passed away. But the empire he had built was only just getting started. So what is the ultimate legacy of Genghis Khan? First and foremost, it's the Mongol Empire itself. At its zenith, it was the largest contiguous land empire in human history, stretching from the Pacific Ocean to the heart of Europe. It was an empire that, for a time, connected the East and West, fostering a period of unprecedented trade and cultural exchange known as the Pax Mongolica, or the Mongol Peace. The Silk Road was revitalized and made safe for travelers, allowing goods, ideas, technologies, and even diseases to travel across continents with newfound speed. But his legacy extends beyond sheer size. Genghis Khan was a visionary administrator, implemented numerous reforms that were crucial to managing his vast domain. He organized his formidable army into a decimal system units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000, which made command and control incredibly efficient. He also created the Yasa, a secret code of law that governed everything from property rights to military discipline, providing a unified legal framework for his diverse subjects. He established a writing system for the Mongolian language and a reliable postal system, the Yam, which enabled rapid communication across his empire. In the end, Genghis Khan is one of history's most polarizing figures. To many in the lands he conquered, he was a ruthless destroyer. But to the Mongol people, he is a national hero, the revered founding father of their nation. He is remembered as a strategic genius, an unparalleled organizer, and a leader who transformed a collection of feuding tribes into a world-changing empire. His story is a powerful testament to how a single individual's will can reshape the course of history. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the life of Genghis Khan. What do you find most fascinating about his story? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more epic stories from history, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next one.